my name is Emma Rose, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the impact of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. I know this is an especially controversial topic, especially with the very heated upcoming election coming up, and a lot of people are divided on this issue. I stand before you today as a concerned citizen who is worried that more of my rights and the rights of every woman in America are at stake. I'm going to tell you how we got here and where the soul of America is going if policies like this are overturned in the future. So I'm going to talk to you about the reason why Roe v. Wade was overturned. And to understand this, we have to talk about the Donald Trump presidency. During his 4 years of office, Donald Trump put in 3 conservative Supreme Court justices. Their names are Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. According to PolitiFact.com, when these justices were appointed, they all agreed that Roe v. Wade was a precedent that they weren't going to overrule without good reason or justification for doing so. However, in 2022, it was completely overturned, and all 3 of these justices voted in favor of it being overturned. And Donald Trump, according to Supreme.findlaw.com, has repeatedly said that he nominated Justice Kavanaugh specifically for the purpose of overturning Roe versus Wade. And I'd also like to mention that Donald Trump, if you've ever seen any of his rallies or heard him speak about Roe v. Wade ever, he takes great pride in the fact that he overturned it and that he's happy to have overturned it, which makes me feel scared as a woman in this country for what a future Trump presidency would look like for me. And it also goes to show that people under President Trump will lie to the American people, telling you that your rights are safe when they are not. The second thing I want to talk about is the reality of the pro-life movement. The pro-life movement, they say that they are pro-life, but in reality they are anti-abortion, because if these people were actually pro-life, they would vote to raise minimum wage, make healthcare more affordable, provide maternity and parental leave by law, fix the foster and adoption systems, all this stuff. But in reality, they are against the right for a woman to choose what happens with her own body, and that leaves women to have less bodily autonomy than a corpse. How has the overturning of Roe v. Wade impacted public health? According to the University of Michigan, and I've looked at a whole bunch of studies that they've done, I'm just going to list out the things that they've said. The rates of self-managed abortions have increased. Increases in the percentage of turned away abortion patients and their children in poverty have increased, and that they are more likely to stay in poverty longer. Domestic violence rates have increased. The severity of that domestic violence has increased, and the amount of children who experience child abuse has increased. Being denied an abortion increases many mental health symptoms such as anxiety, depression, and substance abuse, as well as self-harm and suicide rates. Pregnancy-related deaths during childbirth or within the first 6 weeks of pregnancy have increased. And I also think that it's important to note that since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, the United States has double the amount of pregnancy and maternity deaths than any other wealthy country, which is the exact opposite of what the pro-life movement stands for, which I think is interesting. The next thing I want to talk about is what happens if Project 2025 goes into place. The entirety of Chapter 14 of Project 2025 is about how families should look and function and how women should be regulated. It literally says on the website that the CDC should monitor and have increased surveillance in women's pregnancies. This is a violation of human rights, and it sounds like the beginning of a dystopian future for many women. In conclusion, one question I ask that I'm concerned about for my future is, what is next? Because Roe v. Wade and the right to have an abortion was a right since 1973. And that right was stolen from me and from every single American woman. So what's next? Already, women in Alabama and Kentucky are being denied the right to vote if they have a miscarriage or an abortion because they are a felon. Will the right to own property without a man co-signing also be at stake? One important thing that is also mentioned in Project 2025 is ending no-fault divorce. And this is important because most divorces are initiated by women trying to get out of cases of domestic violence and abuse. And I think, and I know that this will make women more unsafe. And I implore you that if you care about your mother, your sister, your cousin, your relative, your coworker, your friends, and your colleagues and your classmates, that you use your vote in accordance and do not let this happen again. Because women's rights are at stake, and this is important, and I don't want any of my rights or our rights as women to be stolen either. Thank you so much.